If you are in a traditional business, ask the question, can you disrupt it yourself? And the fastest disrupted business, or the fastest being disrupted, is the education system. I'm pretty sure that the next generation will not have to go through this education system. It's going to change dramatically. People are going to access content anywhere. People are going to have tutors from anywhere. I know you've been in the academic, she just told me that she used to coach my son, and thank you for that. But it's going to change completely, because content is going to come from anywhere, and certificates are just going to be there. It's going to have no meaning. So let me just conclude by saying digital forces are rapidly transforming the world around us. I said dematerialization. Please, take a look at your own world and see what can be dematerialized. Data is enormous. It's going to be key, not just your data, but public data also. It's going to be real time, and see how you can make best use of the hyper-connected world we live in. I spoke about the user experience, so rich design. Those are all going to create so many new jobs in the digital economy. So people who think that, if you're going to automate, are people going to be left without jobs? If a plantain seller can use a UPI, it means that digital technology will transform every single business. It doesn't require high levels of education. It requires high levels of adaptation or adoption and the right infrastructure. So reshaping the business models is key. Agility is very important, meaning how fast you run. I've always believed that fast eats big for breakfast and lunch and dinner. If you are fast, it doesn't matter if you're taking on the big daddies. And all of the new age economy businesses are classic examples, whether it is Amazon, whether it is Google, whether it is Tesla or Ola or Uber, or I can keep going on and on. They have become multi-billion market cap, trillion market cap companies, completely disrupting the big daddies in a matter of half a decade. I think there's a lot of data available on customer and customer behaviors. Social media is playing a very significant role. I'm pretty sure that all of us looked at LinkedIn to understand whom you're going to be engaging with. So if I'm going for a business meeting, the first thing I do is that I look at the LinkedIn profile of that gentleman or that lady and see what her background is and how do you connect. And finally, simplify the business process. So if you expected me to talk about supply chain, that was not my intent. I'm very passionate about technology. I really believe technology will continue to rapidly transform the way we live the next 15, 20 years and beyond. Not all of them are good, but most of them are. And we have to see it through the lens of the next generation all the time and see how it makes sense to the future consumers and future customers. So let me stop here. Thank you so much for your patience. I know I've taken a lot of time, but sometimes when I talk about technology, it happens. So my apologies. But I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to meet with you and talk about something which I'm very passionate about. I hope you found it useful. I once again congratulate you for the incredible work you're doing in the community. Thank you. And I'm happy to take any questions if you have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ravi, for the inspiring talk on digital transformation. Yes, if we need customer interface and customer experience, we need to go digital. And if we are not going digital, then we are not there. For which I think we also need to have a relook at our organization, the kind of people we have in the organization. Are they ready? Are they tech ready? Are they young enough to migrate from the traditional technology to the digital technology? That's also a very important factor. And the government itself has played a huge role in digital. You said the Aadhaar card and those kind of things. And we also have the private sector, the financial companies, the UPIs, and you also gave the example of how education is moving forward. There's one more example I could quote in the government, which is a little bit relevant to my business also, which is the way government has changed the procurement. Now, earlier it used to be like, open tender, there used to be a lot of bribe which people take. But for the information of members, now there is a product called GEM, which is the government e-market. Crores and crores of business is transacted through GEM. So, if you want to do business with government, gone are the days when you have to bribe somebody, buy tender documents, and apply for it. No, you just have to go to GEM, register yourself, and if you're competitive enough, you can do business. And sky is the limit. There's no limit for geography. You can be in Chennai and do business in Kashmir. So GEM is a huge revolution with respect to digital. And also education, you said, we have our own member, Poonam, who has gone into digital. And we saw the success of Byju's. Byju's does not have any physical classroom or schools or something. They are completely digital, and they are definitely a success. So thank you so much for enlightening us. I now open the floor for any questions. Anand, you have a first question. Yeah.
Great talk, really inspiring stuff. I just have one question. We are in a 3D content business which does work for... Yeah, great talk again and extremely inspiring. I'm an entrepreneur and I run a 3D content business for AR and VR app developers. So I was wondering, what are your thoughts around metaverse and how that's going to transform? Because I would like to hear from you what your views are on it. Thanks.
Yeah, I think Meta is the next avatar, right? And I think it's interesting that AR, VR is something which I know that we spent a lot of time in my previous job trying to see how we can get real-time immersive experience. Meta just lifts it to the next level. And it's inevitable that everybody who is on that AR, VR journey will quickly swing towards Meta. When I look at enterprises' investment in Meta, I think everybody sees that as a huge opportunity. I believe Meta is something which will evolve very, very rapidly, but I'll probably give it maybe a couple of years for it to get to what I would call, it's still probably very, very early and sub-scale, but we need to get to some scale before. And that was probably where AR, VR stumbled a little bit because it was never scaled to a level that we all expected it to. Meta gives us probably a better window to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Very inspiring. My name is Parameshwaran. I'm part of an IT organization in supply chain logistics. So, very inspiring conversation. 3 questions. I'll fire it quickly. First is, I was thinking you would talk a little bit about the other side of digital, such as data security and information security. What are the cons, how people should react, because most of us are in business, so how to react to that. That's question number 1. Question number 2, I was also looking forward to hear something about, as an extension to your data, the blockchain as well. How that blockchain is actually transforming digital, which we started using on the last mile connectivity solution, which you explained very well. You can track the truck using your systems. The last part is on the economy. Now, what I have seen now, the inflation is causing a lot of people to pull back the capital budgets in the US now. So given that model, most of our economy is an export economy because consumption in India, still it is a price war. Whereas if you need to make profit, you got to export. So what's your contention on that?
So, I think, let me say, blockchain is a completely different, you need a couple of hours to talk about blockchain. And, I probably would love to talk about it, but maybe I'll park it for another day. But conceptually, we do have challenges on information security, on data privacy, on data protection. A lot of things that we have done in the financial side of business in India is pretty strong. I think we are one of the few countries which has put a 2-factor authentication almost to every transaction. And therefore, we are able to get protection. Privacy is a completely different animal. And it is something which is very cultural. Nobody talks about identity theft in India. It's very common outside of India. I don't know why. Maybe, it's perfectly okay for me to accept the fact, maybe. I think it's a bit of a cultural thing when it comes to privacy. It is changing fast. I don't know if we are doing enough on that front. And that will always be something which will slow down the progress of the whole digitalization. I'm pretty okay with information security. I think we are doing a great job, network security, but I would say in privacy we have a long way to go. But we do have, I think, things that are coming our way, especially along the lines of GDPR into India, that could give us a fair amount of protection, and we need to see how it evolves. So, my comment on that is, bluntly, we have a lot more to do on data privacy. On the economy, yeah, so it is something which export-oriented units need to watch. But typically what's happened, let me look at it from two sides. One is the whole consumers, and then there is technology. I would still believe that there's a fairly large space for anything which is tech-driven, because tech brings higher levels of efficiency. And in a inflated situation,